Hello, Confessions of Crafty Witches fans. This is Brandy Boswell. I am the artist and owner of Elegantly Haunted, and today I am bringing to you, with a suggestion from Daw, the page manager, a tutorial on creating your own fall-themed centerpiece using recycled wine glasses and brandy sniffers, anything with a globe, really. So what I'm using today are these brandy sniffers that I've had for some time. They say, I believe they're brandy sniffers, correct me if I'm wrong. And they've been sitting in a box. I collect a lot of glass, of course, because that's what I do. I do hand-painted glass and paper art. So with that, I collect so much glass, I don't know what to do with it. So we found an idea and decided a good idea would be to make candle holders out of these, but not your traditional where you stick the candle holder in the globe, but instead let's turn them over. Make the globe pumpkin and the stem of the pumpkin. And then we're going to embellish it with some of my paper art. So first what we're going to do is we're going to paint the globe. And you can grab paint from just about any craft store. They have some really inexpensive paint out there now that is perfect for something like this, because you're not going to stick them in the dishwasher. They're going to sit on your table, and you really only need to dust them off, because I wouldn't recommend putting the paint that you find in the craft stores in the dishwasher, because they just don't hold up very well. So now what I'm doing is I'm coating the globe of my brandy sniffer. I'm coating it really thick, as thick as I possibly can. And of course there's a little lip, if you can see right in here, there's a bit of a lip. So I'm making sure I get the paint inside of there and then smoothing it out. And you're going to do this all the way around. And we'll just speed things up so it goes a little bit faster for you. Now, I get my glass from a lot of different places. Some of the glass I use is stuff from my own cupboard. You know, pieces that I just I get a little sick of. So I want to do something different with them. And this is amazing, just how many cool things you can do with a little paint and some glass. Now keep in mind, glass does not like paint, okay? Your glass doesn't want to hold the paint. It's going to rub right off. And that's why I recommend going pretty thick with your paint, and to get the best quality that you possibly can. And also, like what I said before, if you're going to be putting this in the dishwasher, I wouldn't get the brands that you can find at Michael's or AC Moore or any of the craft stores. You would have to buy a pretty expensive, high-quality enamel paint. And that has to be shipped in, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, just for the purpose of a decoration, go ahead and use the stuff at the craft stores, because you're not going to throw it in the dishwasher. So that one's pretty well covered. So I'm going to go back over here, and these are ones that I've done previously. They're dry, and I'm going to put another coat on. Now I've darkened my orange just a bit, because I want a nice rich pumpkin look. You know how when you go to the store with your kids, or your kid at heart by yourself, and you're selecting that pumpkin to create your jack-o'-lantern, you're pretty picky, right? You go and you look at them, you thump on them, you look at any embellishment or any bruises or, you know, defects in the skin, make sure it's not going to interrupt with your jack-o'-lantern face. It's kind of what I'm going for here. I want a very nice, solid orange for my pumpkin. And I think I need a little more paint, so I'm going to mix up some paint. And like I said, I'm mixing my colors. So I'm using orange and red for this, and that will give me a nice rich reddish orange color. And you don't have to do this, you can just go straight orange. It's going to give me some little streaks, which I love. I love pumpkins with the dark, I don't know what you call them, ribs, I guess. That always, to me, looks wonderful. Especially when you're painting, it gives it a nice depth. So I'm just going to finish this one up. And I have more that I'm working on. So I'm waiting for those to dry, and we'll move on to the stems. Okay, so now we're ready to move on to the stems. And I have green leaves here that I have cut out of paper, and I've distressed them and embossed them by hand. And they match my paint here. And this is kind of an olive paint. And that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to match the leaves with the paint, so that looks really good. So I already kind of started this one, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a little bit of a tedious task, painting the stem. And this can be a little tricky because you have this big globe in front of you that is kind of hindering the work. But the attention you really want to pay is right in here and getting a nice smooth stem. So there's that one. Let me just start another one for you. Let me find one that's a little bit better. Okay, so this one has a longer stem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to work down. I'm going to start at the top again and work down. And again, just finding one central point to start from so that it looks nice and even. And if it gets uneven, you just go around and twist your glass. Nice and easy. And this is where a steady hand comes in. You see right there, kind of messed up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to correct that really easily. I'm just going to go all the way around to make a nice fluid, there we go, fluid top. And it's going to end up looking good. Again, probably one or more coats, more than one, because we want this to be very nicely done. We want it to look good for our nice centerpiece. So there's that portion. Now, you notice the top of this is just glass. You have a choice. You can leave it like that because in theory you're going to be putting a candle right here. So you probably want that to stay glass. It'd be easier to clean because getting wax off of paint is not always a pleasant thing. So that's my tip for that. Now, some of these have thicker stems, some of them have thin stems, and it's just a matter of working with it with your brush right into the crook there and then working the paint down so that's nice and even. You don't have, what you really want to avoid is having too much in one spot because gravity will do its job and it'll pull your paint down, and it usually does that in the form of big drip. So you'll end up having this big glob of paint that doesn't look too good. So there's that, and the rest of them I'm just going to finish, and then we will put on our embellishment and we can put our candles on. Okay, so now our stems are dry and they've been completely done. Now, what I'm doing is I'm just attaching these leaves that I created out of paper. I hand embossed them and distressed them, so that gives them a little bit more of a realistic look, even though they are paper. And I think it looks really nice. And what I'll do is at the end of this, basically, is I took 2 pieces of twine, and this is decorative twine, and it's dark brown and olive green to match my leaves, just like my leaves match my stems, so we've got a theme going here. And I'm just going to make a loop. And real easy, I'm going to just tie this onto the leaf stem and then onto my pumpkin stem. And really, it's important to keep this whole process easy, simple, because if it becomes too complicated, you're not going to want to do it anymore. I know I don't want to do it if it's work. I want to do it because it's fun. So here we go, real easy. Tie it right on. Give yourself a little bit of slack. Make sure it's tight enough so it doesn't untie itself. I've done that before. And there. Beautiful. A little pumpkin leaf. And that's it.